Many thanks for staying with us on Politics Today. Welcome back. Well, we round the matter of the budget padding controversy, and the Federal High Court in Abuja will on October the 21st hear a suit filed by the former chairman of the House of Representatives Appropriation Committee, Mr. Abdul-Mumin Jibrin, against the Speaker of the House, Yakubu Dogara. Mr. Jibrin had filed a suit against Mr. Dogara after the House passed a resolution suspending him from the chamber for 180 sitting days, insisting that the decision is in contempt of the court. Mr. Jibrin was suspended for allegedly breaching the practices and precedents of the House of Representatives. He is also barred from positions of authority in the House till the end of the Assembly, of the 8th Assembly. The lawmakers took the decision after Mr. Jibrin failed to appear before the House Ethics Committee to defend his allegations of budget padding against some principal officers of the House, including the Speaker. Well, now we delve straight to the main issue we'll be discussing today, the Edo governorship election. The election has come and gone, with the All Progressives Congress candidate Mr. Godwin Obaseki emerging winner of the election. He polled 319,483 votes to beat his closest rival and candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Mr. Sagie Ize-Iyamu, who polled 253 votes. The candidate of the All Progressives Grand Alliance, Mr. Saro Naiwu, scored 876 votes, while his Labour Party counterpart, Amos Arelegbe, polled 182 votes. Well, after the Edo governorship election, in as much as there's been so much celebration in the camp of the All Progressives Congress, the PDP candidate and the People's Democratic Party rejected the results released by the Independent National Electoral Commission. And they say it was not a real representation of what the Edo people went out to do. They say it did not represent the ballot cast in the course of the election. There's been a lot of speculation. In some quarters, there's been talk about inducement of voters, financial inducement of voters, and there's also been the talk of security agents not being properly, the welfare of security agents not being catered for as should be, hence exposing them to, well, what not. Anyway, the PDP is not the only party in that election matter that is aggrieved. Generally, most of the people whom the election outcome did not favor are also not happy about it. The national chairman of the All Progressives Grand Alliance, Victor Ikonye, also has rejected the outcome of the just concluded governorship polls. He says that 876 votes allotted to his party was deliberately done to humiliate and intimidate its supporters. The APGA chairman is asking INEC to produce the results collated at each polling unit and conduct a forensic examination. And also some civil society organizations have said INEC did not do what it was supposed to do, considering the fact that he had more than about 17 extra days to prepare for the election. Well, joining me on the conversation tonight from our Abuja studio is Mr. Clem Nwankwo. Thank you very much for joining us on the program.
Thank you, Himana.
Thank you very much for joining us on the program. You were part of the team, one of the election observers during the course of the poll in Edo State. Summarily, what did you make of INEC's preparations and the output that we saw on September the 28th, Mr. Nwankwo?
Again, thank you, Mana. We had a team of observers from across the country and from Edo State as well who were observing the elections. We did indicate in the period before the last election, the election was cancelled or postponed, that we were satisfied that INEC was prepared and ready to conduct the elections. We still make the point that INEC was prepared and did hold very good elections. There were challenges, of course, but in terms of materials, in terms of spread of officials, in terms of presence of its personnel, INEC did a great job. I think the challenges began to emerge at the point where voting ended and collation began. And this would not be the first time. It's been a continuous challenge with INEC way back to several years that the Independent National Electoral Commission needs to fine-tune and improve significantly on the collation process with elections in Nigeria. And I think that one of the challenges, one of the weak links with elections in Nigeria is the failure to properly set out a well-defined collation process. This is creating huge problems, not just problems of actual logistics failure, but really problems of perception. With the Edo State collation stopped at some point during the night, and what is troubling for us really is that voting stopped quite early in the afternoon, and a collation process that stops sometime early in the afternoon but doesn't conclude until the morning is quite a long delay, especially for an election where just under 700 people voted. It should be possible, given the resources deployed, given the number of personnel on ground, and given the preparations, like I said, that were well done by INEC, it should have been possible that collation happens in only a few hours and the results should have been known quite early. So I think there was a gap. But beyond collation, I think INEC did a great job. Again, there were other challenges, of course, which we are looking at, and these are the challenges of vote buying. Vote buying by all the political parties, but certainly you would mention the two major contending parties virtually outdoing each other or trying to outdo each other in terms of buying votes. And we complained about this.
Just a moment.
Complained again about the placement of the voting.
Okay, just a moment, Mr. Mwankwo. When you talk about vote buying, and inducement of voters with financial monies, with cash or some other items, maybe in cash or any other form, were these was the vote buying going on in public glare?
In a lot of places, the vote buying was going on right in the vicinity of the voting premises and area, and we think that this is very much a violation of electoral laws in the country. They were going on right in the presence of security personnel who were there as well. I think that this is wrong. I think that you cannot have a proper democracy where people will carry out electoral offenses with impunity. Like I said, vote buying was committed by two of the major contending parties. And this is completely unacceptable. There should be a process where the law enforcement agencies are able to enforce respect for the electoral laws.
Okay, is this not an indictment on the security agencies, Mr. Mwankwo, if this was going on right before them? You'll answer that question when we come back from this time out. Please stay with us.